one-on-one coaching, but I was like, man, I just wanted to see everybody.
It's so fun. Hey, y'all.
Hi. Welcome.
Hey, everyone.
And I welcome.
I'm excited that we're all here.
I know.
All the redefining ladies. All the redefining ladies.
Mallory.
Throw your hands up. Okay.
Hey.
Hi,
Hey.
Mallory.
Hello, everyone.
I love seeing y'all.
It's so fun.
Don't let me forget before we get off, or before it kicks us off. One day I will make enough money as a coach to pay for the version of this that is unlimited. But until that day, let's get a picture of everybody like smiling and waving and all of that.
Oh, that's fun. I'm going to do it too.
Let's wait a little bit, maybe at the end, because was Bethany going to get on, Mallory?
I think so. She misunderstood what a challenge pack was, and she told someone it was like that one-time fee, and she didn't know about like the monthly shakes, and so she was talking with her to get that resolved.
Okay. All right.
I'll text her.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead, and I kind of want to wait for her to get on. Do you know how long she'll be until she gets on?
I'll call her right now.
Okay.
I'll mute myself. Okay.
Do you ever want to like pray before we start these meetings? Because that's what it sounded like a minute ago. I'm in church world.
Right.
But now to start
That's just like the default.
we can pray. Yes.
Let's pray before we get started.
Exactly. That's what we do every time.
Everyone shut up and let's get started.
Do what?
I feel like sometimes it's actually like, let's pray and start. And then sometimes it's like a nice way of saying, okay, y'all shut up, stop talking.
Stop talking.
That's exactly what it is.
Maybe that's just student world that happens. But
Yeah.
Something like that.
How's everyone's day been?
Pretty good.
There's Haley. I just saw you got on.
Haley.
She's like trying to turn her volume on or something.
concentrating.
Haley, can you hear us?
Aww.
Can you hear us, Haley?
Hi. No,
Yay.
hello. I was trying to get it to work, but it works now. Yay. How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
So Haley had texted me today and asked if she could come watch live again. And then she texted me and said, I'm just going to go home and get in my PJs. And I was like,
I said that, and then here I am. I'm not in my PJs yet. Still trying to get ready, but it's fine. We're getting there.
Jamie, she hasn't replied, so.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and get started. So let me start sharing. Let me make sure I'm recording. Okay. I think I have it set up where it starts recording as soon as I start it. So I always have to like edit it before I give y'all the recorded version because then it's just a lot of stuff at the beginning. Okay, I'm excited about tonight's call, and I just want to start by saying it is not my content. I think it would, on a lot of levels, everyone benefits more whenever I learn things from someone else, just because I think it's more valuable content, and it keeps me from having to like create something that I don't know if it's really like legitimate or not. So anyways, all that to say, I got this information from Amber Bailey, which I've pointed, if you've been to a Super Saturday, Super Sunday event before, I've pointed her out to you. Those of you who are there in January, they gave her some mic time. She's like, I don't know, 5-time elite coach or something. But she I've followed a lot of her stuff. All of the training on my website originally came from her. She is in Melissa's downline, so she's a part of Fit Legacy as well. She's a believer. The name of her team is Fit Revival, I think. And she really focuses on, like, I think the tagline for her team is something like, I don't know. But it's very evident that she's a believer, and that's kind of the culture of her team, is, you know, like a lot of the same focus as ours, basically. So I've learned a lot from her. She's also introverted. She, a lot of the things that the top coaches seem to have that come naturally to them, you can tell that she's good at what she does because she has worked at it and because she has developed skills and she has pushed herself outside of her comfort zone. It's just very evident. So I'm real grateful for that. And so I enjoy learning from her. And this is a video that's actually, it's one of the ones that's linked on my website under Team Building Academy. And I watched it today, and I have never actually watched it all the way through. And I just thought it was so good for something to share with y'all, because some of you are in the Diamond Sprint group, and I go back and forth on what to share in that group, and how often to give you assignments and give you tools to equip you. And I think the tension I felt has been that really we all need to be doing the same things over and over and over again. Like, there's really nothing new that, I mean, there are always things to learn, but so much of this business is rinse, wash, repeat. Like, you know, just constantly doing the same things over and over and over again and tweaking as you go. And so this is perfect for that. I think it's something that all of us need to hear, and it kind of embodies that whole ideal, whether you're a brand new coach or whether you've been coaching for years. Like, this is applicable. So let's start with recognition. And this is why I wanted Bethany to get on, but hopefully she can catch the replay later. But I wanted to start by recognizing those of you who have already helped people in March. Lindsay already has 4 Success Club points. Jeffrey already has 2. And I want to just congratulate y'all. Great job. It feels so good to help people early on in the month, and, you know, to be trying to reach your goals earlier in the month, because then there's not that stress and tension of falling into worrying so much about a number at the end of the month, because that can be pretty easy to fall into when you haven't met your goal by the conclusion of the month. So well done, y'all. And I also want to point out, I mean, there's a lot of us that are not on this list yet, myself included. I do not have any Success Club points. I don't have anyone that I would say is like I've sent them the link or anything like that. But I guarantee you I will reach my goal this month. And so I want you all to have that mindset. We're 1 week into the month. There's a lot of time left, but we need to be working hard every single day. And we need to have that mindset that our goal is non-negotiable, and we will reach that. We will push for those things. And we're going to talk some tonight about how we do that. Now, I also want to recognize Mallory and Bethany. Mallory does not have any Success Club points yet either, but again, I think she has this same mentality. She will reach her goal. And I wanted to just talk a little bit about what I'm learning from her and celebrate Bethany a little bit. So Bethany signed up as a coach. It's within the past week, right? Maybe?
It was the last day of February.
Okay, last day of February. So stay unmuted, because I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Oh, okay.
I didn't prep Mallory for this. But so she signed up, you know, about a week ago, a little over a week ago. And I met with she and Mallory on Tuesday. So just like talk about I left the meeting just super fired up and motivated just to see her excitement about it all. And just to hear her story, I'm sure you'll get to hear it at some point, but basically she's been considering coaching for several years now, but did not feel a peace about it, had prayed about it, did not feel a peace. And the person she'd been watching now is no longer coaching. But she signed up with Mallory when Mallory asked her, and feels like that was very much, you know, God ordained for her to wait and sign up with someone who she knows and trusts and who is going to be in it. And anyway, she's super excited. And then I got to have a phone conversation with her today, and she was in the process of signing up 3 coaches today. So going to hit Emerald within her first couple of weeks. Hasn't even gotten her package in the mail yet, I don't think, but just on fire. And what I want to say about Mallory in all of this, and what I'm learning from Mallory through this, is I think what I've seen about Mallory that has stood out to me the most and that has challenged me in my own business is having a boldness just to do what we need to be doing. That might sound very simplified, but that's a word that I would use to describe Mallory. Is she gets out there and she invites and she does it, and I don't feel like she overthinks it. Now we still have lots of conversations, and she sends me pictures of, you know, conversations and how to talk to people and all of that. So she's tweaking as she goes. But I think, wasn't Bethany the one you talked to before you even signed up as a coach to see, like?
Yeah.
Okay, so she was recruiting Bethany as a coach, not just a challenger, but as a coach before she even committed to becoming a coach and a challenger. And she also, when she continued recruiting Bethany, she invited her to the coaching opportunity. She didn't dismiss, oh, well, she probably won't want to do that yet. She'll probably want to experience the challenge group yet. And so just this boldness of starting with the business opportunity. And because of that, she's attracting people to her that are like her, that are ready to start building. And so it's just been an eye-opening experience for me of saying, I need to do that more. I need to quit making excuses for people and be bold and ask and be okay if they tell me no, because the more I do that, the more I'm going to find people that I get to sit down with on a Tuesday afternoon for coffee. And I'm so freaking excited because they're excited. Like, it's so cool, y'all. The more we get to add people to this tribe who are like-minded, it's so fun. And so I want to challenge y'all in the way that it's challenged me. Like, be bold and don't make excuses for people. Don't come up with reasons why you don't need to ask them. Like, trust that they can make their own decisions and just be faithful to ask. So I better, like, that's not the whole point of the call tonight, so I better settle down. But well done. I asked Mallory, because she is moving toward Diamond. And I asked Mallory tonight, like, what would you say are like the 3 things that are, what did I say, that are like reasons behind your success? And do you remember what you told me? Do you want me to look at the text, or do you remember? I can read it verbatim.
I think it was something about looking at the person and building the relationship, and then inviting, and keep inviting even though I get turned down. And what was the other one?
Staying teachable and tweaking my system.
Yeah. Because to be honest, I feel like my system is completely screwed up. But
that's what I was going to ask. Do you feel like things are just like very smooth sailing? And do you feel just incredibly organized?
No. Like today, I've maybe talked to one person because my shift was incredibly crazy. But I talk with people when I can at work, but I mean, it doesn't always happen.
So I want all of you to hear that. Like, success in this business does not mean you have it all figured out and you feel like you're really organized and have all the systems in place. Yes, we do want to strive for those things, and we want to follow checklists, and we want to do all those things. But don't think that because there's a tension there, don't think that you're doing something wrong. Like, the wrong thing is when you don't take action on the activities that matter. And so let's go ahead and get into that. I'm going to skip my calendar just because I show it to y'all every week. If you need to spend more time on it, I can send it to you individually. But let's talk about this. What is phase one? Basically, it separates the talkers from the doers. And the longer you're in this business, the longer you will be around both of these categories of people, and you will be able to see who is a talker and who is a doer. It's putting your income building task first. 90% of your time should be spent on these income building tasks. It's steadily bringing new customers, new coaches onto your team, doing those power activities first before you do anything else. And I just want to stress, you need to do your power activities before you check into our WhatsApp text, before you look at what Melanie Mitro has posted on Instagram stories, before you see what Autumn has posted in the 80-Day Obsession Coach test group. Like, all of those things need to be extra, and they need to be done after you have done your power hour activities. We've got to have discipline and self-control in that. I struggle with it. I have to talk to myself daily. No, I'm not going to do these other things until I've completed my power hour activities. I'm not going to prepare team Zoom call content until I do my power hour activities. We've got to be disciplined in that. It's leading by example. And I love what Amber said about this. She really stressed, like, do you. So don't, like, there's so much value in just putting our blinders on and being authentic and being genuine, because when we get to looking sideways too much, then we start trying to implement what someone else is doing or someone else's personality, and it's just not beneficial because it's not real and it's not us. Like, people need you as a coach for a reason. And so what comes naturally to you is how you need to portray yourself. There are things you can learn from others. That's why we do team Zoom calls. That's why we have national wake-up calls, the best of the best. That's why I recommend listening to Melanie Mitro's podcast. But ultimately, don't spend so much time on social media following all these other coaches and feeling like you have to compare yourself to them. It's just not healthy. And so a lot of times people ask, like, what's the secret sauce for doing this business? Like, what's the secret sauce for being so successful? This is it. It's mastering phase one. So what it is not. Phase one is not playing manager of your business. And I'm the first to confess, I think this is why 2017 was not a good year for me. I think it's why I did not meet so many of my goals, because I was busy managing. I was playing like I was a business owner. I was pretending like I was doing all these things. And I was working. Trust me, I was putting in the hours, but I was not doing what mattered. And I don't want y'all to fall into that, especially the longer you do this. It can be easy to do, but we can't do that. We can't play or pretend to be this manager. We're not managers. We are CEOs, which means, as we're going to talk about a little bit later, we are to help equip and empower and encourage belief in others to do what we're doing. We can't do it for them. We can't check in with them constantly. And that goes down even to our challengers. We don't need to be in our challenge groups all day long. We need to be checking in maybe once a day, doing our personal check-ins when we need to, but we can't handhold constantly. We have to show people you are in charge of your choices and you have the ability to make wise choices. I'll give you tools and I'll encourage you and I'll share my tips, but we can't manage people. And so we can't fall into that. I think a lot of us, I know a lot of you have filled out, like on your new coach form and your about you have a Pearl Gym personality, which means you have a deep desire to help other people, to serve other people. And when that's our personality, when many of us are seeing this business as a ministry, sometimes that can blur the lines of feeling like we have to do more than what we really need to do. And so rather than equipping people, we can be crippling them in the process. And we just need to try and stay laser focused on helping them, but not managing them. So I'm not sure if all that makes sense, but so it's not hanging out all day in your challenge groups. It's not making the perfect cover photo. Again, guilty. I can spend so much time on Canva or designing the perfect graphic. That is not what will grow your business. It's just not. Your business will grow because of the activities you're doing. It's not feeling like you have to put together the perfect challenge group before you invite anyone to it. No, just like be inviting. You can figure it out after you get them. And it's not building a like page before it's time. So I know a lot of you have expressed like, do I need to build a like page? Do I need to spend time? And when I say like, that's like a business page on Facebook. And really what's been stressed, and I say this is a general statement, but every individual coach is different. And some might need to start a like page sooner than others. But bottom line, I don't want you worried about like, do I need to start a like page or not? Just take the social media avenues you have and be faithful to share your story on those. So phase 1 is also not based on a lack of action. So let's jump into now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through what phase 1 looks like if you're a new coach, what phase 1 looks like if you're a diamond coach, and what phase 1 looks like if you're a star diamond and above. And this won't take as long as you might think it will. So income building activities, make SC10 your goal every month. I think it's important for us to know that SC5 is like the bare minimum, but SC10 should be what we shoot for. And if we miss it, we miss it. But chances are we're going to get a lot closer to it if that's what we're aiming for. And so that should be our goal every month. We need to learn to master sharing our own story by focusing on those personal social media accounts. So whatever avenue you've chosen, Instagram's really growing. It's a great platform right now. That's where I'm focusing a lot of my time. But just continue learning to master sharing your story. Haley and I have been talking about this a lot lately because she feels like she has all this stuff to share. And I've just been encouraging her, like, you don't have to share it all in one post. You don't have to share it all in a few posts. Like, there is so much for all of us to share. And it's constantly evolving. If we are growing and we're on our own journey, if we're people who are living, like our story is happening and it's unfolding every single day. And so just continue learning to master sharing it and share the same things and just share a little bit different facet of it. Just in the moments, we've talked about this in social media training, in the moments when you feel inspired, try to write it down. That doesn't mean you need to post it right then, but just try to write when you're feeling inspired. And then you can just pull bits and pieces and share different things along the way. Also, phase 1 for new coaches, you're mentoring others on their fitness journey. So you are helping challengers get results. And again, that doesn't mean that you're having to hold their hand every single step of the way, but you are wanting to help them. You're wanting to provide value and show them how they can do this. A lot of this, I'm learning through a lot of personal development stuff I'm doing, that being a leader is a lot about helping other people believe in themselves and helping them see that they are no different from you and that there's nothing special, about us, that we're just on a journey and they can do this too, whether that's a health journey or this business. And so just kind of mentoring others on their fitness journey, that's for new coaches. You're more focused on that side of things. And you want to start each month with a specific plan. So are you running a free group? I'm not saying you need to early on, but are you doing that? Are you running a challenge group? You need to have some sort of challenge group that you're inviting to, whether that's your upline coaches challenge group or one that you're starting or one that's ongoing. And then a business opportunity call. If that's a sneak peek or a presentation or having like my recording that you can show to people, you want to have a plan. Whatever your plan is, you just want to have a plan every single month. So phase 1 for diamond coaches looks a little different, but you'll notice not much. You're still doing the income building activities. You still have SC10 as your goal every month. Basically, you're learning you're doing and you're tweaking. Rinse, wash, repeat. And I loved that that's one of the things Mallory said whenever I asked her, like, why are you successful right now? And she said, I'm learning and I'm tweaking as I go. Like I try things, and when it doesn't work, I ask for advice, or I change things up a little bit, or maybe the way I approached that was a little too forward. Maybe, you're just tweaking, you're learning, you're evolving, and you're sharpening skills. You're doing the same things over and over and over again, and you're just getting better and better and better at it. I promise you that Haley and I also were having this conversation. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but she said, she told me this week, like, I don't know how to talk to people. Like, I don't know how to respond to people when they say, anything, basically. And I was like, that's so normal. Like, we've all been there. We've all been like, I don't know how to respond to this. Like, I don't know what to, I don't know. Like, I think what they're saying is great, but we've all been there. And so the more we do it, the more it becomes more natural, the more we figure out how to, again, like Mallory said, see each individual and build that trust and relationship. It's a process. And so don't be discouraged if you feel like you haven't arrived, because you won't arrive. Like, you're constantly going to be learning and growing. So a diamond coach also is building on what they know about sharing their story, and maybe considering a like page. So again, this isn't a definite you need to have a business page or a like page or run ads. Like, maybe you're considering it. You're building on what you know about mentoring others. So not only on their fitness journey, but now also in the business side of things. So that's really the main difference in this one. And then again, starting each month with a specific plan. Go up one more, phase 1 for star diamonds and above. Again, income building activities. Make SC10 your goal every month. Continue master sharing your story. As that impact begins to grow, now you can spend more time on your like page. This is why I've kind of taken a step back from mine. I'm not a star diamond yet. I don't feel like I have the time to devote to a like page. I'm taking all of this information and training that we've been getting about Instagram, and I'm eating it up, and I'm trying to apply that. This is kind of a side note, but y'all, we need to trust the company. They have a team of people who understand marketing, who understand sales, who understand what it looks like to train and equip a team of people. And so when they give us information on the National Wake Up Call, it's because we need it. When they're focusing something in on Instagram stories, we need to just eat that up. And so I just want to encourage you, like, whatever they're giving us, like, if you're like, I don't know what to do for personal development, listen to the National Wake Up Call and listen to it again and again, and however many times you need to in that week, and do it, the action steps that you can take from it. Whew, I'm excited tonight, y'all. Okay, so, and then another difference is this mentorship mastery. So as you're a star diamond and above, you continue to learn new ways to differentiate your approach with each individual who joins your groups and team. The goal is to grow leaders. And then again, back to this, you resist management mode. Even once you are star diamond and above, you have to resist management mode. And this was a quote that Amber heard at a leadership conference, and she just said, management mode is a counterfeit to real leadership. It's not the real deal. It's just appearing. You have the appearance like you're leading, but you're really not. You're just managing. So, and then lastly, same thing. You start each month with a specific plan. So you see, there's not many differences in what you should be doing as a new coach and what a 15-star diamond should be doing, right? So kind of in conclusion of that, it's all phase 1. There's not a phase 2, a phase 3, or a phase 4, unless you're doing 80-day obsession. And then hopefully there's only 3 of those, and probably some bonus rounds at some point. But we're all on the same playing field. Some people do master certain areas of coaching quicker than others. Don't compare yourself to them, and don't think that it necessarily means that you're doing something wrong. It's okay. This is a business that's built on layers, and so you can't skip steps. You can't just jump to where someone else is. Just continue your laser focus, put your blinders on, and you do what you need to do. Tweak, learn, do, tweak, learn, do. Just continue. You have to master one layer at a time before you can move up to the next. So it's very clear, hopefully, to all of us that anyone can be successful at this, but not everyone is. Why is that? And I loved how she explained this. There's basically it's using an internal locus of control versus an external locus of control. And so imagine that you've got this locus of control that's kind of dictating how you view everything. And so you either are focused internally or externally. If it's internal, you're taking the approach of, I make choices that determine an outcome. Regardless of what's happening around me, I'm responsible for my choices. That's obviously what we want to focus on. That's the mindset we want to adopt. But when we have an external locus of control, we have this mindset of life is happening to me, and we become the victim, and we make excuses. And I think we've all been in seasons like that where it's just easy to do that. It's easy to blame and to justify. And so it could be that you're worried about what other people think. It could be, nobody's liking my post. Nobody's saying yes to me. No one's showing an interest. It's the holidays. No one's interested. I found myself saying that this past November. November was a hard month for me. And I found myself going, well, it's not a good time. No, that's not true. Like, I was too focused on all these things around me instead of focusing on what I could control. Another excuse that we can oftentimes have is that we don't have time. And the truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And what we choose to do with it is up to us. Now, if you have specific goals that only allow for a certain amount of time, that is totally fine. You just need to understand that the fruit that you see in this business will be directly related to how you spend your time and how much of it you spend. But really, I won't say how much of it you spend, but how you spend your time. I think you can grow this business tremendously in 1 to 2 hours of time a day if you are very laser focused on doing the things you need to be doing. So again, we want to have that internal locus of control instead of the external. So staying in phase 1 will bring organization to your business. It will bring consistency. It will help you focus. It will bring action, determination, and joy as you get to grow, as you tweak things and as you see things work. It's exciting. It's fun. It's exciting. And if you are doing these things, if you are in phase 1, which means you're spending 90% of your time doing the activities from a system that have been put in place, there's no room for fear. There's no room for it because you're too busy acting. And so that will produce results. So action steps were these gut checks, and I liked them. And I thought I need to ask myself these questions every single day, honestly. Because I just identified on the days that I'm frustrated with my business, if I were to ask these questions, I think it would be very evident that the reason I'm frustrated is because I'm not in phase 1 90% of the time. I've gotten distracted. I've gotten derailed. I'm managing most of the time because I enjoy managing. I'm managing and I'm not doing the activities I need to be doing. So ask yourself that gut check number 1, what percentage of your time is spent in phase 1? Gut check number 2, are you following the system in place to help you be successful as a coach? And then this final truth bomb was a quote that she read or that she heard at some conference. Just said, until you've made an impact, you haven't earned the right to make an income. And so Just if you find yourself falling into that, like, why am I not making more money? Like, it comes back to making an impact, which goes back to, we need to be inviting people consistently. We need to be doing the activities that we need to do, which a lot of times require energy. A lot of times require doing things that make us a little uncomfortable and stepping out of that comfort zone, being challenged. And so I hope that all of this tonight is just encouraging to you to stick to what you're doing. And that's why I've, like I mentioned, that's why I've been a little bit less like providing something new in that sprint diamond training, because we just need to be doing the things that we already know to do. We just need to be repeating them, and we need to follow a checklist and not check it off just to check it off, but to keep us focused so that we're not being consumed by this business, but that we're able to really focus and pour in and connect with people during the allotted time that we have for that. So that's all I've got for tonight. Any questions, comments? Did it make sense?
This is kind of related to this, but I finally got a chance today to look at the business planner, like, spreadsheets that you did, and that is super helpful. Like, that helped to take all of this that we're talking about, like, all the things that we need to do and put it. Like, I haven't had a chance to tweak it or, like, customize it or whatever word I'm trying to use yet, but just looking at it, like, normally when I look at, you need to do this, like, all the other planners I've ever looked at, or like business goal things, I feel more overwhelmed when I look at them because I think, how am I breaking this down? But it didn't feel that way when I looked at the one that you made. So, which is saying a lot because I've seen a lot of them. So thank you. That helps a lot, and I feel like I'm confident in being able to give that to someone who's just signing up. And yeah.
Good. That was my goal with it, is I want you to be able to tell a new coach, this is what you need. Like, this is what you need. Just do this. There's a little room for some customizing, but I think that what my experience has been is when you give people options and say, you know, I mean, you want to be able to give options, and there is options within it, so you can print it out or you can track. But I think that what a new coach needs the most is, here's a system. Just follow it, and then as you feel more comfortable in your activities and you want to change things up a little bit, you can. But I think when we tell new coaches, you could do this or this or this, I think that's too much, and it's too overwhelming versus just being told, just do this. Just do this one. And, if you've got someone that is going to do their own thing and that's what they prefer to do, then they're going to do that regardless. But I think most people fall into the category of, here's, just work through this list, So that was my hope. I wanted to simplify and let it be something that you feel like is duplicatable, that you can give to people.
Mission accomplished.
Good. Okay, let's take a quick picture. Haley, you got to get in. Okay. All right. I don't know how to do this. It's like there's a glare on my computer, I guess. Here, hold on. Sorry, y'all. It's going to cut off before I get...
Hurry!
Okay. Everybody smile. Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all for being here.
Bye.
Good to see all your faces.